Alright, so I'm gonna show you how I figured out how much input lag the PlayStation 4, the 360, and the PlayStation 3 have for Ultra Street Fighter 4. Um, and what I used was I used a Bodner tester to test my Asus monitor. This is an Evo monitor, and it's a pretty cool device. Check the input lag here, and I averaged out that to be about 10.7 milliseconds. So I first off had to figure out that number, and then I went in and I used a Samsung Galaxy Note um, Galaxy Note 2 to um, record everything. It allows you to record at 120 frames, 240 frames per second. I recorded at 120 frames per second for this test, just to have a little bit more accuracy to it. And so what I would do, I'm going to bring up a file here. So let me get a TE2 test. Delete that one. Bring it over. So what you do is you just make sure that you capture your hand and the game in the frame on the camera, and then you just go in and here I'll play it in slow-mo so you can see how slow it plays. So what I do here is I just get to a point where my finger touches the button, and right where the button goes down, right when it's completely down, like right there, that's when I'll start counting until I see Ryu actually start performing his attack. So watch. So this is where the button is down, like right here. I'm going to start counting until I see Ryu move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then there's this after image starting to appear. So that means Ryu has just started doing his attack, and that's 15 frames. And then what I would do is I would go into I have this spreadsheet here, and I would start writing down all those results that I would get. And what I would do is I did 120 different tests of Ryu's standing light kick for each console, joystick. So I would just go right down the row and start counting. I would go right here. That's where I should start counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I just go in and I would write that stuff down. And yeah, I went in and I would do did DualShock 4 also. Same thing. It's a little more difficult with these. It's harder to see the buttons, but it's possible. Go over here. And boom. And button down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So 14. And I would just go in and I would just start writing all that in. So I'm not going to go through and show you every single example, but I will show you what tests I did, what setup. I did 3 tests here, for 3 separate tests for the Tournament Edition 2 on PlayStation 4, and I did 3 separate tests for the DualShock 4. The reason why I did 3 is one thing I noticed. I was originally just going to do 2 tests, but I was noticing on the second test that my results were actually a little bit laggier than my original tests. The first day when I tweeted stuff out, saying that PS4 version of USF4 had 5.5 frames of lag, was using these test results, so I decided to do a couple more. I noticed that the results I did today and last night are a little bit more laggier, slightly. It's unusual. But I've also heard that like say the PlayStation 3 version, the input lag varies between 5 and 6 frames. So I wonder if the PlayStation 4 has something similar in architecture that causes it to vary in its input lag. I also used a PlayStation 3 original Tournament Edition stick on the PlayStation 4. A couple people were asking me to actually get those results to see if the drivers lag. I used a Madcatz Silent stick for 360. I used a 360 pad. It's one of those wired pads that you can use to plug in on your PC or the 360. I used the same original TE stick that I used for PS4. I plugged in, used on PS3 to test that. I used a DualShock 3, and I used a Hitbox, a PlayStation only Hitbox. And so yeah, if you look here, I have this spreadsheet set up in Google Docs where it has each one of my tests. And down at the bottom here, I went down and I would average all my results, stored them here, and now all my tests were done at 120 frames per second. So it's simple. You just divide by 2 to get how many frames of lag for each joystick. So this is without the input lag on my monitor. You gotta make sure you subtract the input lag on monitors. And the input lag on my monitor was in milliseconds. So what I did was I would take these results here, this row here, and I would multiply it by 16.666 repeating to convert everything to milliseconds, because one frame is just about 16.666 repeating. If you take that's at 60 frames per second. If you take 1,000 and divide it by 60 for 60 frames per second, you get it about 16.666. And so that's how I get these results here. Multiply by that. Then I would go in and I would subtract the monitor lag that I have, 10.76 milliseconds. And you get this. And then after that, you just divide it by 16.6 repeating to convert all this back to frames. It's a number most people can visualize a little bit better than the milliseconds. We're all used to dealing with frames in Street Fighter. So I got these results here, and you notice my first day results, I got 5.8 milliseconds for the TE2, and I got 5.7 milliseconds on the DS4. And then my next two tests, it was quite a bit slower, by about half a frame or so. That's what I thought was unusual. And the DualShock 4, you can see I had the same thing. It was a little bit slower than the day before. But one thing you notice that the DualShock 4 on all my tests, it has a little less lag than a Tournament Edition on all my tests. Look here, there's 6.19, 6.38. Over here, I got 6.21. Over here, 6.44. So yeah, I just went in and I did the PlayStation 3 stick on the PS4. I noticed it had a little bit more lag than like a default Tournament Edition stick, but it is an original Madcatz Tournament Edition PS3 stick, which I have heard they might be a little laggy. There's actually something called joystick lag also. I believe that there is a web page out there that has a listing of all the different joystick lags. So I don't know if that's the reason why this was so much more laggy or not, or if it could possibly be the driver thing. You can use the PlayStation 3 sticks on the PlayStation 4. So for comparison with the PS4, I also used the Xbox 360 version of Ultra Street Fighter 4, and on my Silent Madcatz stick, it came out to about 3.2 frames of input lag and about 3.5 frames of input lag. I always thought the Xbox had around 4 frames of input lag, but I guess it, according to my tests here, it's a little bit faster than that. For the PlayStation 3, I got the original Tournament Edition stick. I got 5.5 frames of lag. For the PS3 DualShock 3, I got 5.16, which is just a little bit faster than the Tournament Edition stick, by almost half a frame. So I wonder if that has anything to do with the lag that it got on the PlayStation 4 compared to the DualShock 4. I also used a PlayStation 3 Hitbox and got 5.28 frames of lag. So yeah, when I originally tweeted out that the PlayStation 4 had 5.5 frames of lag, the reason why I said that was I subtracted a monitor lag of 16.6 seconds, milliseconds, because I was just calculating one frame for my Asus monitor, which I probably should have just used the it's got a little less than 1 frame of lag. It's 10 milliseconds, so that would affect the results. So I originally posted PlayStation 3 4 has 5.5 milliseconds of lag, but it's actually closer to 5.8, about 6, which is what I've seen other people reporting the same results, of about 6 frames of lag. So there you have it. I have all these results here. I kind of graphed them out a bit. You can tell down here that these are the Xbox results. And we have the Tournament Edition. I think the one up here is, yeah, this is the PlayStation 4 with the PlayStation 3 Tournament Edition lagging the most. And so there we go. Those are the results. Maybe I'll make this document, this spreadsheet, available for everyone to view. We really need to get other people maybe testing it, see what they get. I don't know if my video camera was the best camera in the world to be doing this stuff with, but I don't have $1 million for one of those high-speed cameras. Yeah, if y'all want to test, see what y'all get, go right for it. Just need a high frame rate camera, one that goes at least 60 frames per second, probably higher. So there you go. Later.